Hello everyone. Today let us take a look at this question on the community about creating linked subtasks with automation. Now, this user has posted this question, but I'll of course not read the whole question. I'll probably tell you what this question is all about. Now, the question is all about creating some subtasks using automation, which is of course we can do that. I mean, whenever you have a new activity, let us say onboarding activity, you may want to create some subtask which can be done quite easily. But the question is all about how can we ensure that those subtasks are followed and resolved in a specific order. Now I understand that in case you want to have, let us say, some onboarding activities and you want to strictly follow some order, that do this first. Maybe the first thing that you may want to do is maybe set up account, then you will probably send the laptop or furniture or whatever to your new hire. Then maybe you want to do some activities for that particular user. So uh, in case you think you need to follow an order and you want to follow it for sure, there is a way, and that way is actually quite straightforward. Now this user is trying to do it using automation where in the beginning all the subtasks are created, but when the first subtask is maybe resolved, maybe you want to then start the work on the second one. But if you have different subtasks, then defining the order can be a bit tricky, although you can still do it. Maybe maybe you can have some numbering, but the best way, I believe, you can do this. I mean, this is of course my way, the way I think about this, the way I think about resolving this or achieving this requirement is to rely on the workflows. Now if you have workflows in Jira, you can actually configure your workflows to follow some process. That is basically the whole point of having a workflow. So let us say you have a workflow with 3 or 4 or 5 stages or different phases. For example, like when the issue is maybe new, when the issue is newly created, then of course it will be in open state. Then you can move it to maybe the next stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and so on. And at each and every stage, let us say the moment you click on the transition button, that okay, stage 1, then you can create some subtask, or maybe a single subtask for that particular stage, and you can assign it to a specific person. Then you can move on to stage 2 and stage 3, and so on. So basically you are using the workflow to control the way issue or that particular big activity should be resolved by following those activities. And when you have workflows, when you have basically a workflow to control this, you can now also do other things, like you can have conditions, like you can define who can do what at each and every stage, who can basically move this issue to next stage. You can also have validators. Maybe you want to, when you want to ensure that, let us say, send the laptop to the user, but you can only send the laptop to the user when you have a valid postcode, for example. And in my previous video I showed you, or I think the video I made a couple of days back, I showed you how to validate a postcode. That is a valid use case. I'm trying to plug in that particular automation that I did, and maybe you want to ensure that this has to be checked. So you can have validators. You can also have post functions. So the moment you move the issue to the next stage, you can then maybe send an email to someone. Maybe you want to trigger some other automations, or maybe you can do whatever you want to do. Basically, maybe send a message to your Slack channel that, look, I have done this work. So I would say if you want to follow an order, I mean, you can somehow manage it using automation. But I believe whenever you're trying to do automation, don't try to complicate things. If you can do something which is easy to maintain using something like workflows, which of course will give you this visual thing, that you have this visual workflow that you can take a look at, that anyone can take a look at. So it is of course very much clear about what this issue is all about, what all stages it has to go through, and where exactly this issue is right now, or that particular activity is. So use workflows in this particular case. And that is all I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you learned something new today. Thank you very much. Bye bye.